Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. This is your brother Kazakya, and I want to have a discussion. This particular presentation or sharing is going to be twofold. I'm going to talk, number one, first about the Israelite movement. And a lot of people are waking up, coming out of the closet, I'll say that, coming into the knowledge that they are Israelites and are now searching or surfing the internet and are coming in contact with a lot of various different camps or teachers or movements, because there are different terminologies that people use when they make reference to the Hebraic awakening or the movement. So first thing I want to say is, if you've been awakened to your Israelite heritage, I want to say shalom and welcome to the Great Awakening. Okay. Now, I don't want your Great Awakening to be a rude awakening, because a lot of people are having a great awakening and it is turning into a rude awakening, right? Where, what am I talking about? You have a lot of different camps that are saying we are right? And if you're not a part of our camp, then you're not in the truth, right? So there's a lot of that going on. And so I want to alarm you to be aware that that is happening. That's what you will come in contact with when you come into the knowledge of the truth. Now, what I want to also add too is that a lot of Israelites are pretty much doing the same thing that we did in, whether it be in Christianity or whether it be in Islam or whether it be in whatever a previous religious affiliation, right? So we have come to attempt to keep a covenant in a religious perspective, right? So that is not what this is all about, right? When you think about the whole purpose and why the Most High created man, right? Then you divorce that whole religious mindset and mentality of coming under another form of a religion under the auspices of the Hebrew Israelite movement, right? The Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. And we hear a lot of people say that Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. Okay. Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. It's not a religion, but a lot of people practice like it is a religion. And so anybody that comes against what they believe and how they perform religious ceremonies and all of that, you are false prophet. You're out of the Most High's will, right? So when you understand and get the clarity that the Most High formed mankind for the purposes of what? Enjoying life, right? Enjoying life, to live, to have eternal life, right? So it is the things that goes against what the Most High created life for that brings death, right? So we have to understand purpose, why the Most High gave laws and rules and regulations for the purpose of life. Law is to prolong life, not to extenuate or to accelerate death, right? So religion basically is a bunch of rules and regulations, right? And a process of how you perform or process the information that you receive. That's religion. But a way of life is when you apply the information that's been given to you so that you can have life and enjoy life, right? If you're stressed out every day and you feel like that, if I do this, I'm not going to be accepted by people, then you got a religion, right? But when you're looking at the whole thing, and I can go into the scriptures and give you scriptures on it, but I'll let you do that. But I'll give you a hint. When the Most High said in Deuteronomy, I put before you death and life, right? Then he said, choose life, right? He ain't going to choose it. He is not going to choose it for you, right? You've got to choose life for yourself, right? You've got to make the decision to follow the instructions for life. That's what Torah is. Torah is an instruction to help us to live, right? Now, we can eat all of the lawful foods. We have a lot of Israelites that's eating right? They're eating clean meats and that kind of thing. But some people are sickly and have sugar diabetes and high blood pressure and all of that, just like the world does, right? So, but when we understand that the law is given to us for us to know how to live, then we will look at what we're eating, right? There's a big epidemic right now on globally. Everybody knows about it, I'm sure by now, where they have a recall on romaine lettuce. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it's organic or whether it's non-organic. There's been a recall on romaine lettuce. A season or so ago, there was a recall on spinach. Now, how long have people been eating these spinaches and lettuces until they came to the knowledge that they were corrupt? Let me say that again. How long have we been eating food such as spinach and kale or romaine at this particular phase? I think one time it was broccoli a while back. Okay. How long have we been eating that without knowing that the food has E. coli in it? Right. So what I'm trying to say is that the Most High, when he gave us an instruction, right, for life, right, one of the things he told us to do is to plant our own vineyards, right, plant our own garden. But yet we're eating from the gardens that are mass produced. And so what do you expect if everything is mass produced, right? And we're eating, going to the marketplace to buy their things, then that's the reason why we have to pray and ask the Most High to sanctify the food, because we don't know what they did with that food in those warehouses, right? So what I'm saying is religion is not what the Most High gave us. He gave us a way of life that we might live, right? So every decision that we make, right, whether it be where you work, what you eat, where you sleep, how you live, all of the decisions that we make with regards to that should be based on understanding and knowledge so that we can live, right, and not die. So that's not religion. That's all about the way of life, right? So that's what the Hebrew is, right? Now, we got people that want you to look a certain way. Everybody's looked the same way, that type of thing. I was on that page one time, but you may see me wearing particular clothing and garments. You may see me wearing, street clothes now. But at one point in time in my life, I would never wear street clothes because the religious mindset had me to believe that I had to dress like that to be in the covenant. Right. And nothing can be further from the truth. You don't have to look a certain way for you to be an Israelite, a covenant Israelite. Right. You want to be a certain way. Right. You want to be about life. You want to be about living. You want to be about your children. You want to be about your family. You want to be about doing the thing that's going to help other people to have life, that's going to watch you and say, oh, I want to have life. I want to be like this person here. Right. So a lot of times we as Israelites, we major on the minors, right? We get off into all kinds of doctrinal debates about who is Esau and this, that, and the other, instead of us focusing on living and life and choosing the life that we might live. That's the reason why the Most High gave us, as I've been saying over and over again, that's the reason why he gave us the law for us to live, right? So if you eat the wrong foods, if you eat foods that are infiltrated with junk and poison, right? That's why the Most High said, don't eat the scavengers, don't eat the swine and all of that, right? So in addition to that, to add an addendum to not eating of the swine, not eating of the shrimps, not eating of the crabs, not eating of the mussels and lobsters and the muskrats, right? And the ham, right? And the rabbits, all the stuff that the Most High told us not to eat because they were not good for us, they were not clean for us, right? That they might bring life. But you say, well, brother, you know, I was raised on that stuff and my family's living and all of that, and none of us has been sick, right? Okay. But the whole thing of it is that something that maybe you haven't considered has been reproduced. And I don't know, you have to look at your whole total picture. It could be something psychological, that resulted in eating unclean foods. Maybe you're not physically sick, but maybe you're mentally sick, right? Okay, so I don't know your story, but the Most High is smarter than you and I. If he says for us not to eat certain things, right, then it is not good for you, right? It will cause you to have a sinus condition, or it may cause you to have a respiratory condition or some kind of physical condition that is, as the doctors would like to say, hereditary in your bloodline, right? But it basically is hereditary because you are continuing the same process of eating and the habits of eating that your fathers and your fathers and your fathers and your forefathers beyond them did. And so as a result of you having the same habits, you have inherited conditions because you're doing the same practices that your fathers did, right? So we don't want to be religious, right? We don't want to leave out of the Christian church and you paying 10% of your tithes, and now you come into a Hebraic movement and you paying 10% of your tithes, and then while you are broke, busted, and disgusted, right? While you living, barely making ends meet, but you're going to pay them tithes to that pastor, right? You're going to pay them tithes to that leader, but your life is lacking, right? You don't have no joy in your home. There's no love in your home. You don't get a chance to enjoy life, right? When's the last time you went anywhere to where you really actually enjoyed yourself without having to be sitting up in some four walls in a building while somebody sits there and lectures to you for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or however long it is, right? So the Most High wants us to be able to enjoy life and to enjoy the things that he created in this world for. So be on the lookout for the religion that is so prevalent on the internet and everybody is battling. Listen, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. You don't have to constantly rebuke a person for doing wrong. If we know certain things are wrong, and people, when they see you, you represent a whole nother lifestyle, right? I don't have to tell people Christmas is pagan. I don't have to tell people the holidays that the Americans participate in are wrong. I don't have to do that because when I show up, I represent all of the truth. I don't have to say a word, right? And as a matter of fact, people will hopefully, they pray that you don't say a word because, they want you to change. Let me ask a dumb question. Why would I want to participate in something that is taken away from life, right? You will spend all your money in the stores buying stuff and spend the whole next year paying for all that debt you got in, trying to recover yourself back from expenses from the debt that you've incurred, right? So let's not be religious. Let's not be like another people who we always rebuke, but let's be a people of covenant who practice the covenant to live and to enjoy life as we are called to do. And that's all I have. And I pray that you got something out of what I shared. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.